Hi everyone, this tutorial is going to show you how to add some blur to your photos. So on this photo I've added blur right around the subject right here. And so that's the after picture and here's before as is. And so this is something that you see on Instagram and other photo apps is the ability to add blur. And so I'm going to show you how to do it in Photoshop. It's really easy. And what we'll do is we'll start out with our picture, and I'm going to use my marquee tool, which is a tool that can make selections. And so your marquee tool is up here, and I'm going to click on it, and we will do an elliptical marquee selection, and so that'll be a circle. And so when you use this tool, you're actually selecting what you don't want blurred. Okay, and so I don't want this part of them to be blurry, so I'm actually going to select that part. And everything around that circle is going to become blurry in a second. So I'm going to select them, and you'll see the dotted marquee line show up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to Feather. Feather determines how crisp the line is between this filter that you're putting on and the untouched part. So between the blur here and the non-blurred area here, I would like for how my style is, I want it to be pretty discreet. I don't want to see a line. So I just put 150 pixels here. I have a really big picture, so your number might be different. You'll have to play with it a little bit so you find something that works for you. So for my picture and its size, I'm going to do 150 pixels and do OK. And so now we just told the marquee to have a pretty big feather, so a pretty discreet line. And then I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to click on Select Inverse, and that's going to select everything else. It basically flips it. So now we have selected the area around this couple that we're going to make blurry. And then from here it's really easy. You can go up to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And you can use some of the other blurs, but I kind of like Gaussian for this. And when this pops up, you'll see that it's adding the blur to the picture. So the higher the number in this box, the more blurred it is. I mean, that looks crazy, but you could do something really subtle and it just adds a little touch. And I think on the last picture I showed you, it was at like 16. But for mine, I would probably do about 8 pixels just for this picture, just to add a little something. And then you click OK. And then now I'm going to deselect, and you can see the picture. I'm going to go to Control D, or you can right click and do deselect. So now it's added a little blur around there, and it looks good. And now I'm going to show you really quickly how to do a blur on the top and on the bottom of a picture. And that looks really cool for big groups of people, a wedding party, for instance. And so I'm actually going to go back. And you'll do the same concept, only using the rectangular marquee tool. So I'm going to select that. And again, you're selecting what you don't want blurry. So I'm going to select this whole area that I don't want blurred. And then you right click and do Feather and add your number there. I'm going to leave mine at 150. Okay. And then I'm going to go to Select Inverse, and it selects the top and bottom. That's what I want blurry. Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur. And again, you'll see how it blurs the tops and bottoms. It just adds a little dimension to your photos. And then click OK. Deselect. So I hope that's helpful, and that you can use this tool to add some dimension to your photos. Thanks for tuning in.